Back, Ms. Reddy. How difficult or easy to deal with the political class, particularly in relation to slums?
Well, as long as we did not succumb to any kind of pressures outside of the vision that we had, that the poor have a right, and it is the responsibility of the society and the system to establish this right for the poor, nothing shook us. That we were under threat at times, that we were very encouraged at times, that we have seen corporators in those days become ministers today who acknowledge, recognize, and I believe are doing some good for the city too today, is also an experience we have had. There have been times when I've sat in that graveyard for meetings and I've been threatened by not necessarily the top political people, but people in the party cadres who have felt threatened by our presence and who have threatened me with my life. There have been situations where the land equations and kind of nexuses and mafias have also been a threat to us. I've been chased by kerosene, a mob of 300 people with kerosene cans. We've been cornered near certain temples. Even today we are fighting a lot of cases. I would say that it's a class equation that is really oppressive. And that is where, if the poor, their contribution to the city, the fact that they form the urban backbone of the economy of the city, that the informal sector is giving so much towards the city, is all accepted, and that they are ultimately the vote bank that can't be taken for granted, is respected and then understood, then I think there will be some kind of an awakening at least. But more important is to really get the change at grassroots, to get the people into the vision of larger political change, to make them understand what's possible, to hold their elected representatives responsible towards that vote that has been given to them, and also to quote the better elected representatives as the models, to show that something is happening. It's not like everybody is exploitative or everybody is oppressive. We have seen people reach out. We have seen people change the policy and bend the policy. In fact, all the housing projects we did in Lakshmipuram required that amount of thinking from the authorities, from the political representatives. And I, for one, felt that every time the people made their point, the political representative was willing to listen too. If they didn't, people continued making their point till they were heard.
Ms. Reddy, when you were threatened, when you were chased by a mob, how did your family feel? Didn't they tell you, just stop all this thing and get back to the business?
I've been so fortunate in that. I believe that my immediate family of my husband and 3 children have been extremely supportive, and hats off to Pratap for giving me the leeway to say, go ahead and do what you want to. There have been times when I've got up at 12:30, 1 o'clock and I've run into communities in the night because there would have been a fight over some drunken brawl, or a woman is being beaten up. I know a child was thrown into the dustbins and we had to pick up that child immediately and run to the hospital, and she's now a grown-up young adult leader, and so on and so forth. So they never stopped me, and today I believe the children have absorbed much of this, and they've been a great source of encouragement, and they all feel the same way. So I think I've been fortunate that I had a family from my father's side who grew from the village and understood all of this, and from my in-laws side, people who were part of the freedom struggle earlier years, who had given of themselves to Karnataka and to the country. So I do believe on both sides I had families that greatly supported me.
Nice to hear that.
Yeah.
Ms. Reddy, if a citizen inspired by your work wants to join you in your efforts, how should he or she go about?
One, if it's joining me, doors are open to all, anytime. Number is available to all. It's floating around all slums.
Can you give out the number?
Absolutely. It's 98450-81466. And if I don't reply immediately, please don't take it amiss, because pretty often it may be, right now it's on silent mode when I'm sitting with you. So otherwise, there is an organization. Avas is a strong organization. Each of my senior members have grown into their own potential leaders with their own organizations too today. And the other trust where I've been working intensely on many of the children and youth development programs, which is the Dwaraknath Reddy Ramanarpanam Trust, which is guided by my father's vision and values, where he, as an industrialist, left his personal wealth. And this is something I'd like to call out to many people who feel that we either have the money and don't know what to do, or how do we give. I would like to tell people that in the giving is not very complicated. In the giving is the receiving also. And whether it is 200 rupees to a child for a scholarship, 20,000 rupees towards a home, or 2 lakhs towards a community center, or 2 crores towards building up a school, it's up to each person to decide. But you can give of yourself and what you have put together. That's what my father did when he formed this trust. He gave away all his personal wealth, not company wealth, and asked me to take care of it to work for the poor. With this, I've been able to build up a large number of platforms and schools and institutions for the younger generation, where I believe the leadership will come up. So people want to contact. We are an organization. There are numbers. There are email addresses. We are still getting our web together. But we are also contactable in many slums. So we are available for anybody who would like to help. To me, it's the least calculative thing on earth to work. This social work or activism just flows with the need. The priorities come as people need you, as the community needs you. We've got to open our eyes, as V.S. Naipaul said, to that dustbin where the dog and the child are rummaging together for that bit of leftover food. Unless